Now doctor, Mycobacterium avium, where can you find it? You can find it inside the blood of the HIV positive patients. Majority of them are pigment producers, yellow pigment producers. Mycobacterium avium intracellular is what need to be remembered. Diphtheritic toxin typically has lysogenic for beta prophase is what need to be remembered. Now, if you look at TB, it is a cell mediated immunity, which is the underlying pathogenic mechanism. Okay doc, you need to give me the answer. Which lipoprotein delivers dietary triglycerides to peripheral tissue? Hepat, chylomicrons, very good. We also get the same answer from our online students. It delivers, then which is triglycerides to peripheral tissue? VLDL, very good. Hepatic cholesterol to peripheral tissues? LDL, that's good. That is the same answer by everyone. Now, paddle shaped macroconidia is a very important feature of the epidermophyton flocosum. It is also called clavate or paddle shaped macroconidia. So we must be slightly going through the microbiology of the dermatophyte infections, which is a favorite issue for the examiner. Now doctor, what makes an yeast pathogenic? It is the ability to produce those germ tubes is the one which is responsible for the pathogenic ability, is what you have to fundamentally remember. It is the one which makes colonization, pathogenic ability, everything is resting in the germ tube formation. It is the ketodeoxyoctanoate, which is the main component of the lipopolysaccharide, which is seen in the case of the gram negative organisms, is what you need to ultimately remember. This question requires a repair doctor. This was a wrongly framed question. Probably we must convert option C into cannot be destroyed and make all the remaining statements true, and that will become the only not true statement in that scenario. So this repair is required in the frame of the question. Okay, now it is a sigmoidoscopy which is the best way to diagnose the Entamoeba histolytica. Amoebiasis is what need to be remembered. This question I think everyone answers. VLDL is typically increased in which hyperlipidemia? You are going to answer reflexly in the tomorrow's exam. Type 4, that's right. All our online students say the same. Type 4. So doctor, you need to remember this. Type 1 is chylomicron, 2A is LDL, type 4 is VLDL. These are those tiny bits of information which should engrain into the brain. Tomorrow's exam, reflexly you should answer without using the brain actually. Now prolonged apnea can occur in mivacurium and succinylcholine. Why? Because they are both metabolized by cholinesterase. Some people can have genetically decreased cholinesterase. Why an anesthetist will ask, is the patient belongs to Vaishya community? In the modern days, if you ask such a question, you can be crucifixed for social discrimination. But there are some communities which are being recognized with low pseudocholinesterase levels. In them, mivacurium and succinylcholine won't be metabolized. So if you use them to relax the muscles, muscles remain relaxed a little longer. And if you are not prepared for that as an anesthetist, patient will go into ventilatory arrest. So you need to prolong in them the ambu support a little longer, because their ventilatory relaxation will be a little longer. Now doctor, cardiac arrhythmias if you want to treat, If they are due to digoxin toxicity, don't do a mistake of giving calcium. Anywhere else you can give calcium to while managing arrhythmias, because hypercalcemia, hypocalcemia worsen the digoxin toxicity is what you have to ultimately remember. Now omeprazole, we don't use it for diarrhea, we use it for all the remaining causes. Histamine induced gastric secretion is not affected by sucralfate. Sucralfate, what the poor thing will do? It will layer the gastric mucosa and prevent the acid injury. That's the only thing that it will be doing. Now, a healthy pregnant woman, UTI, which is the easy, safe, best drug in pregnancy, doctor, it is the cephalosporins, preferably first or second generation cephalosporins which are safe. In the case of the pregnancy is what need to be remembered. 17-year-old comes and presents with discharge, which is gram-negative intracellular diplococci. Always remember, gonococci, chlamydia, they both are twin sisters. If the guy got infected, he gets infected by both of them. So only treating for gonococci, chlamydia will be disappointed. So doxycycline should always be supplemented. Okay, doc, shoot me an answer. Second is an answer we get from Nampally. Greater horn of the thyroid, hyoid cartilage. Dilip says third, Kakinada says fourth, Anantapur says 3, Shravya says 2, Chinna says 3. Oh, our Warangal alumni, the pride of KMC Warangal says 2. Okay, who will be the correct answer? Brain killers derivatives, doctor. If you say I did wrong, I don't know. Oh, it won't be pardoned, doctor. Non-bailable mistake that we can ever see in the entrance. First arch, what will you remember? Meckel's cartilage, mandible, malleus, sphenomandibular ligament. Second arch, stapes styloid, lesser horn stylohyoid, seventh nerve is the second. Third, greater horn of the hyoid. And fourth to sixth will be thyroid, cricoid, arytenoid, corniculate, cartilages, Brinkel arch derivatives. You are not going to miss it for the tomorrow's exam. Now, doctor, metformin. Typically, how does metformin act? It is a euglycemic, not hypoglycemic drug. Unlike sulfonylureas, which are secretogokes, it is not a GOG. Metformin is not a secretogok. The metformin, like biguanides, they basically increase the uptake of glucose by the muscle and they decrease the hepatic gluconeogenesis and glucose output. That is what you need to remember. Ondansetron, serotonin antagonist. Then loperamide. Loperamide is a wonderful drug that you can give along with diphenoxylate. They won't cross the blood-brain barrier, hence they are considered to be safer, and they will only exert on the act on the opiate receptors in the GIT and decrease the GIT motility in a patient who has got diarrhea. If you want to decrease the bolus of stools, you can give loperamide, is what need to be remembered. Bismuth, why do we use it in triple therapy? To eradicate the H. pylori, we use the bismuth. Pyrengipine, it has nothing to do with histamine induced acid secretion. Pyrengipine is basically a muscarinic M1 cholinesterase blocker. So that acetylcholine induced release of the histamine it will affect, and histamine in turn will cause the acid production. So by blocking histamine, acetylcholine induced histamine release, the pyrengipine will decrease the acid production, hence it is used as a acid reducing drug, is what need to be remembered. So it inhibits the vagally mediated gastric acid secretion. Now coming to guanifacin, there are two things, doctor, in the cough syrups: expectorants, antitussives. They are different. Expectoration means you want to pull out the mucus. Antitussive means you want to decrease the cough irritation. Can you combine the two? You can't pull the thief out of the prison, at the same time with his legs you can't drag him back into prison. So you can't do the two. Either you give expectorants or you give antitussive. For all expectorants, for them to act, what is required? If you give an expectorant, a non-productive irritative cough converts into a mucus producing productive cough, so that you will bring out all that mucus. That is the idea. Okay, so they need to be hydrated well, then only the mucus forms and you can bring out that mucus out. That is the idea behind giving expectorants, is what need to be remembered. Rifampin is a inducer of P450, I think easiest question in the world. Nephrotoxicity is a problem with phenazidine aminoglycosides, is what need to be remembered. Now, what are the drugs that penetrate blood-brain barrier? Levodopa, physostigmine, OP, whereas streptomycin, hexamethonium, glycopyrrolate and dopamine, they don't cross the blood-brain barrier, is what need to be remembered. Okay, doc, should be an answer. It is an intracellular parasite. It lacks muramic acid in cell wall. Hence, it does not stain with the Gram stain. Which is that organism I am talking about? Who will give me the correct answer? It is intracellular, lacks muramic acid. Which organism we are talking about? I know. Our online students are ready, NEET compliant. November 15th के लिए wait कर रहे top करने के लिए. That's right. There are some bugs which do not stain with Gram stain. We get answers as Mycoplasma, Chlamydia, Legionella, varied answers. Treponema, it is very thin. Anorexia nervosa it will be suffering from. So it can't be visualized. Rickettsia, intracellular, hence it won't. Mycobacteria, it has a very high lipid content and require acid fast stain, hence Gram stain negative. Mycoplasma, no cell wall itself, where will it stain for Gram? Legionella, primarily intracellular. It is a chlamydia which is the answer I am talking about. It lacks muramic acid, hence it is Gram stain negative. It is also intracellular. All those who answered chlamydia get a very big clap. Okay, the word parasite is objectionable. Intracellular organism, chalo, theek hai. Okay, doc, the remaining questions we can run like anything except medicine, surgery, gynops. Gastric lemmas we don't do for acids, which are mineral, but organic acids we can. How do you do? Excrete barbiturates, alkalinize the urine is the principle.